Hello, 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 hello. Happy New Year. Wow. We made it to 2023. Glory be to God. Thank God that we are here together. And thank you so much for making the journey with us in 2022 and being here with us once again as we begin the journey in 2023. 2023, our first edition of HR Digest. You are welcome. If you are here right now, what I need you to do is to let us know who you are, where you are watching us from, and then also some of the things you have learned as you have journeyed with us from 2022 to this time. We'll be glad to know your learning point. We'll also be happy to know who you are and where you are watching us from. So please go ahead and introduce yourself. And I also appreciate it if you share the link with your contacts, with your followers, with your friends. You know, it's a learning platform and we are always learning and it's great. We never stop learning. We only stop learning when we join our maker. So long as you are alive, let's keep on learning. That is how we grow. That is how we become the people that we want to be. Thank you once again. My name is Patricia Abnakisi. And if you've been with us throughout our journey, you realize that Standard HR Digest, what we do is we bring people who are experts in the various aspects of HR, and then we discuss important issues. And so we have a conversation with them. And it's been very exciting so far. It's been very worth it with the kind of learning points we have. And today, Agnes from Takwa, thank you for joining us, Agnes. We are glad that you could join us. And kindly share the link with your friends and followers. Let them also join and learn. Okay, so per the topic for discussion as scheduled is talent management and succession planning, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I was so much looking forward to it, and I'm sure you were so much looking forward to that topic as well. And if you have listened to Abu before, you realize that he is so loaded, so loaded. But if you know the pandemic and the challenges that we are facing in this world today has taught us anything at all, it has taught us that emergencies do happen and anything can happen at any time. Unfortunately, our guest cannot make it today because he lost his brother. So sad. And he had to be at their hometown for the burial. He planned of coming, but flight schedules and all that made it impossible. So we have rescheduled this session. We'll have this session on talent management and succession planning. But today, we are going to do something new, right? So we are going to, it's what I call time with your host. You've been with us, those of us who have been with us week by week, there are learning points that you have. There are also comments and there are also questions that you have on your mind that you want to ask so we can assist in answering them. So this is what we are going to do. You are going to post whatever questions you have, anything pertaining to HR, pertaining to workplace, pertaining to business development, pertaining to career development. Please feel free to ask your questions. And then I'll also be asking one or two questions along the line. But most importantly, there's something that is dear to my heart that I want to also share with you. But we will start first of all with your comments, with your learning points from the previous sessions that we've had so far, and then also questions that you have pertaining to HR, business development, career development. Please feel free to write them in the comment section. We'll pick them up and answer them in the course of the discussion. And then also, what are your plans for 2023 as an individual in terms of your career aspiration, as an HR professional, in terms of the relationship with your employees, in terms of what you bring on board as far as the organization is concerned? What plans do you have for the year 2023? Eric Duka, I see you. Wow, Eric, it's been a long time. Thank you for joining us. Great to have you here. Mercy Ejapoma, thank you for all the way from Water Region. Thank you for joining us. Mercy, we are grateful that you could join us. Please ask your questions and make your comments and let's learn together. This is a learning platform. So we learn together, we share together, and we grow together. Remember that HR Digest is brought to you by Sadat Consult with support from FA Impressions. So you can contact FA Impressions on 024 352 6781 024 352 6781 for all your branding and printing needs. They do great. I tell you, they're professionals. So you can just contact them and get all your printing and your branding needs met right there and then. Okay, so please remember to share the link and ask your friends to join us and post your questions and your comments as well. I'm here for you. Okay, so we have experiences that we'd like to share with you. So let's get on with it. Ask your questions and then give your comments and all that. So first of all, 3 key questions that I'm asking, and that you can start posting your comments or your answers to in the comment section. The first one is, how have you benefited from this program? What has been the learning point for you for this year, from last year? That is on the HR Digest. Share with us. Somebody who may not have joined previous sessions would also take a cue from it. And then the second question is, what do you hope to learn more of on HR Digest in this year, in the year 2023? What are the topics you want us to discuss? What are some of the issues you want us to bring to the fore? What are your expectations generally for this program? What do you want us to discuss? How do you want it to be? How do you want it to be? What topics? What do you expect from us as far as this program is concerned and the year 2023 is concerned? So please feel free. Miriam, thank you for joining us all the way from Kumasi. Thank you so much for joining us. And then share with us, you're in the beginning of the year, so share with us your plans for the 2023 as far as HR issues are concerned. If you're an HR professional, if you are an employer, if you're an employee, if you, in terms of expectations, so if you're an employee, what do you expect from your HR manager or HR team? If you are the HR team, what do you expect from your other team members? And if you are the employer, what do you expect from your HR team? Right. So whilst I'm waiting for that, I will share with you my something that is very dear to my heart as we wait for your comments, as we wait for your questions, as we wait for your expectations, as we wait for what you want to learn more of in the year 2023 as far as this program is concerned. I will share with you a few things that I think, if you get it right, it will help us as HR professionals, it will help us as employers to really grow the organization. Michael, thank you for joining us from Cape Coast. Thank you so much. Please remember to share the link with your friends, with your followers, and let them also get on board. Right. So let me share these statistics with you. According to a study reported by the BBC in 2021, 70% of employees have trust issues with their HR professionals. Yes, 70% of employees have trust issues. They don't trust their HR professionals. And so HR professionals are often accused of protecting employers who pay them rather than the employees. So the question I'm seeking for us to answer is this: what can HR professionals do to win the trust of employees? What can HR professionals do to win the trust of employees? In the first place, is it very necessary? How important is it that we win the trust of employees? This is very key, because as an HR professional, you're supposed to be like a referee. So you are the one that is liaising between the employers and the employees. So you are not supposed to be on anybody's side, but you're supposed to be on the side of the organization, on the side of the company, making sure that the relationship between the employer and the employees are cordial, are mutually beneficial, are mutually rewarding for each party. That is what you're supposed to do as an HR professional. But why is it that the employees don't trust us as HR people? Why is it that they would rather talk to their colleagues, they would talk to their friends, rather than coming to us as HR team to talk to us? Why are they not doing that? If they're not doing that, then there's a problem. It means that you always have to feed on the grapevine. and they are not able to come to you to share what is bothering them. And don't forget, a lot of things are happening in their individual lives. They should be able to come to you, to open up to you and tell you what they're going through without you judging them, with you being supportive of them and helping them make the journey as far as that issue is concerned. Walk them through it. If they're not able to come to you, it will affect productivity, seriously. So what can you do to win the trust of employees? I will share 5 main points with you that I think will help us all to win the trust of employees, so the employees can be more relaxed, can trust us more, and can more open and do their job without any problems. Well, Michael says, I have learned from the program insightful lessons on HR and personal development for my career growth. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you, Michael. Seydou Samad, you are watching us from WA. Thank you for joining us. Right. So the first point, if you want to, whilst I'm waiting for your questions and your comments, if you want to win the trust of your employees, number one thing, which is very key to me, it is the most important, and that has to do with communication. Open communication. You have to open up to the employees, be clear to your employees, let them be able to understand the job that you do. How can you do that? First of all, I know that we have policies as HR professionals, and sometimes we tend to be the like headmasters with the canes and saying that, okay, you have done this cane, you didn't do this cane. So the policies are there. We are there to enforce the policies, the procedures and all that. But have you taken time to explain the policies to your employees? Have you taken time to explain the procedures, the processes to them? I know that we have employee handbooks, we have HR manuals that we tend to give to employees and ask them to read. Sometimes you ask them to sign, indicating that they have read and understood what the content is. But honestly, have we explained the policies to them? Have we taken time to explain? So we need to explain to them clearly what the policies are. We need to explain to them clearly what the procedures are. They should be able to understand the policies governing the relationship between the employer and the employee at the workplace. And it's your duty as an HR person to explain that to them. And once you do that, is one step ahead of you winning their trust. If the policies are hidden, so to say, in the employee handbook or in the manual, and then you wait till when they fall foul to it, bring out the employee handbook, and then you point them to it, then you are not helping them. And it will not help build trust with them. So be open and help them understand the policies and procedures. That will really, really help. So open communication, this is very important. Find every avenue to be open to the people. Some organizations have what they call staff their best. So take advantage of that. And at the staff their best, speak to the people openly. Explain your policies to them, explain your procedures to them, and also explain the expectations of the employer, what the employer expects from them as employees. Explain that to them clearly, and then also explain to them what they can also expect from the employer, because it's a win-win situation here. It should be mutually beneficial relationship here. So what the employer expects from employees should be made known clearly, and what the employee can also expect from employers should also be made clearly. Then we are on the same page, and it's a step ahead. It helps you to win the trust of your employees. For those who are working remotely, so for example, you have to check in with them. Don't leave them. They are working from home, so you leave them. As HR, yes, I'm sure their supervisors will be checking in on them, but as HR professionals, you should also be checking in on them. How are they doing? How are they faring? Is the work environment at home, is it really conducive? Is it helping them to be productive? Is there anything else they will need from the organization to make them more productive even while they are working at home? For some, it may be the challenge of internet connectivity. For some, it may be the challenge of the very chair they sit on at home, not the office chair. So it becomes very difficult for them. Is there a way that you can help them? And that would be very good. for them. So check in on them and let them feel comfortable. Open communication always wins, always wins. So that's the first point. If you want to win the trust of employees, be open with them in terms of their communication. Right. Michael says key expectation, topic that would help graduates from our tertiary institutions position themselves to be very employable by companies across various industries. Okay. My team, production team, please note that down for me. Okay, right. So how can they position, especially as it pertains to HR? Because I know that a lot of graduates are churned out from institutions doing HR, but how are we helping them to find their feet in the HR space? Thank you, Michael. I think we will take note of that and do something about it. Right. So my second point, please don't forget that this is HR Digest, and this is an open forum time with your host. So if you have questions that pertains to HR, business development, career development, please feel free to put them in the comment section. We'll pick them up and answer. And we're also looking at feedback from the previous sessions. What has been the learning point for you? Please note that down. And then we're also looking at what you expect from us in 2023 as far as this program is concerned. What are some of the topics you want us to treat? What are some of the issues you want us to discuss, to bring to the fore? And that we'll talk about. All right. So we are looking at how to win the trust of employees as HR professionals. And I've said that number one thing to do is to practice what we call open communication. Now, secondly, you need to be transparent with your employees. Be transparent with them. Put the cards on the table. Let them know how things are within the organization. Sometimes they may be under the impression that things are going so well, but we all know things are difficult for businesses. Things are very challenging for businesses. But if you don't open up to the employees, they will think that everything is all right. And that is when they come out with demands that the organization cannot meet, and then it brings issues. So why don't you be open to them, be transparent to them in the first place? Let it be like a book that they know that this is what is happening. What are some of the challenges facing the organization? And I can tell you, some of the employees can even come out with solutions as to how to solve some of these challenges. Don't underestimate anybody within the organization. The best idea can come from the person who is at the shop floor. The best idea. So let the issues be clear to them. Let them understand what you are going through. Don't hide anything from them. Be open. And that way you win their trust. They know how the company is doing. They know, and then be open to them on the things that you are doing. And let them know what management can take, what employers can take, what they cannot take. And let figures speak for you. Right? Let figures speak for you, especially if you work in a unionized environment, where unions come every year or 2 years, or depending on the arrangement, with their demands. Right. So if they come out with demands that are way above what the employer can accommodate, how would they know if you don't open up to them? How would they know? So please, let's be transparent with the people that we work with, especially now that things are very difficult for businesses. Let's open up to them. Right. And the third point is prioritize confidentiality. In fact, I cannot emphasize this enough. As HR professionals, as the team within the organization, we are the custodians of the confidential information, data about employees. How we keep that data confidential is very, very key. That is the key. So employees should not seem to think that whatever is on their file is out there in the open and everybody knows and people are talking about it. It doesn't help. You kill it. You kill their trust completely. They will not come to you if they have issues, because they know that if they come to you, the next thing, it will be all over the place. It will be all over the place. So please be confidential. When they come to you with their issues, except it borders on legality or you want to talk to senior manager to get answers to them, even that, you have to seek for their permission first, especially if they speak to you in confidence, before you go ahead to find solutions. And if you think that the solution lies with a senior manager somewhere that you have to go to, please seek permission from the person before you discuss something that he told you or she told you in confidence with any management team member. Please. As HR people, some of the issues that we have had has been that people's data is out there, people's information is out there. It shouldn't be that the case. We should hold the data very confidential. And then when they come to us and share their issues with that, we should hold them to trust. We should not disclose whatever they discuss with us, except with their permission. And this is very important. Right. So once again, you are on HR Digest, brought to you by Sedat Consult with support from FA Impressions. Abena Afrakuma Prempe, thank you for joining us. Abna says, Abna here watching from Accra. I can only ask for God to give us life to continue watching your sessions. It's been insightful from day one. Thank you so much, Abna. We are glad you could be of help. Keep up the good work. I'm glad to be part of the Sedat family. Topics worth considering: HR for non-HRs, compensation management. Yeah, compensation management is topical. It's actually one of our flagship programs when it comes to the paid training. But we will talk about it here. So we have taken note of the topic, HR for the non-HRs, that's for the line managers, and then compensation management. So my production team, please take note of that for me. I will tackle it. So now we will take a short break. When I come back, I will share with you the last 2 things that you can do to win the trust of your employees. It's very important. HR cannot afford to lose the trust of employees. Just as we want to win the trust of employers and we want to be at the table, we want to be at the boardroom, we also need to be mindful of the trust of the employees, because without that, we won't get to know the issues that are pertaining to the workplace and what the employees are facing, that we can help them. And some of the issues are such that if they are not dealt with, it will definitely affect productivity. And then it will be a problem in the long run to the organization. So we'll take a short break. When we come back, I will share with you the 2 topics, the 2 things that you can do to win the trust of your employees. Whilst we are doing that, please remember to post your questions and your expectations for 2023 and your learning points as well. I will see you in a bit. Well, welcome back. I hope you are learning something. And remember that this is HR Digest, brought to you by Sedat Consult with support from FA Impressions. You can contact FA Impressions on 024-352-6781, 024-352-6781 for all your branding and printing needs. This is Time with Your Host. It's an open forum where we answer your questions, and then we also take your feedback and we take your expectations for the year 2023. Remember, we're supposed to have Mr. Kwame Abubakar Suman here to discuss talent management and succession planning, the good, the bad, the ugly. I was looking so much forward to that, but unfortunately emergencies happened, and so he's had an emergency and he couldn't join us. But we will reschedule. Definitely he will come and they will digest that topic, because it's very, very important and it's very dear to my heart. And I know it is dear to your heart as well. Right. So before the break, we were looking at how we can win the trust of employees, because according to a report by BBC in 2021, 70% of employees have trust issues with their HR team. HR professionals are often accused of protecting employers who pay them rather than the employees. So the question is, how can HR win the trust of employees? And we have looked at some of the things that we can do. We've said that you should be open with your employees. You should be transparent with them, and we should communicate openly with them. And then we also should prioritize confidentiality. It's very important. We should keep information private. Keep private information private. And unless you have their permission to share, even if you are seeking to find solutions for them, if you don't have their permission to share, please don't share. If you think that you cannot handle it yourself as an HR person and that you will need the support of a senior person to help you solve or deal with the issue, please seek for their permission before you share what they have told you in confidence with any other person. And wives and husbands, I know that sometimes when we get home, our spouses will want to know how our day went and in an attempt to share what happened at the workplace with our spouses. Please, let's keep confidential information shared by our employees confidential, right? No matter what. Okay. Now, then the other thing that we can do to ensure that we win the trust of employees is to show care. And I cannot emphasize this enough. Why is it that employees feel that we don't care? Why is it that employees feel that we're on the side of management? It's because we tend or we appear to be interested in issues that has to do with management or the employer than handling their issues. We tend to think or to show that we care so much for the employers, and then we don't care what happens to the employee. Sometimes we tend to ignore or neglect the chicken that lays the golden egg, because employees are a very important part of the organization. They're important stakeholders. So show to them that you care. How can you do that? Let them be able to come to you every time and share their problems. You see, sometimes we tell them, leave personal issues at home. Don't come to work with personal issues. But hey, how can they do that? Because personal issues are part of their lives. They have issues they are dealing with. They have marital issues. They have mental issues. They have financial issues that they are dealing with. So how can they leave those issues at home and then come to work and give up their best? It's impossible. So why don't you show care by allowing them come to you to share their issues with you and then help them through it? Sometimes it's an issue with their spouses. They're having challenges. They should be able to come to you and then speak to you and you help them. Sometimes, and I always say this, there was a time in my career that I was having a challenge. And I thank God for my boss and the CEO of Capital Group, Mr. Samuel Adetola. I always thank God for his life. You know, it was a personal issue I was dealing with, but he didn't consider it personal to leave me to it, to deal with it myself, because it was a very difficult moment, to the extent that he had to engage the services of a psychologist, paid the psychologist to make sure that I speak to him and he helps me to come out of the situation. I couldn't have done it without his support. People are going through issues. They are dealing with issues. They're going through things. So let's help them as HR professionals so that they know that we care for them. Sometimes it's just a shoulder to cry on. Sometimes it's just somebody to open up to talk to, just like that. But if you tell them that don't bring your personal issues at work, they will come to work, they will be worried, they'll be stressed out, but they won't be able to do anything, and it will affect their productivity. So let's do that. Let's care. Let's show care. Let's not just tell them we care. You know, that employees are our greatest asset, blah, blah, blah. That has become a cliche. But then let them know that we truly care, and let us care for them truly. And that will really, really help. Right. So let's show that we care. And then, and this is very important, and it doesn't really have to be very expensive. right? We should introduce wellness programs at the workplace for employees. You want to win the trust of employees? Let things that matter to them matter to you as well. Let things that are dear to them be dear to you as well. Hold their hands through tough times and walk the path with them. Then they will know you care, and then they will trust you. So what are some of the wellness programs you can introduce? We know that things are very difficult. The economy is not friendly worldwide. So employees have financial issues. Sometimes it's the way they manage their finances. So as an organization, as an HR professional, what can you do to help them? Some of organizations have introduced financial literacy programs. They invite experts to come to the organization and talk to their employees as to how to save, as to how to invest, as to how to manage their finances so that they are able to live within their means, except in emergency situations, and that there's a program in place that will help them deal with that. That is one thing. Because sometimes they get the money, but how they manage the money is the issue, right? So we can help them do that. And then we can also help them with mental health programs. Look, people are going through challenges, especially during the pandemic and now economic recession and all that. People are really going challenges and having challenges, and it is really affecting their mental state of health. And I'm not saying the person is mental, like sometimes we say, but we all have challenges. We have challenges. So what is it that can be done to ensure that, I beg your pardon, let me just log this. Okay, right. People are taking advantage of it and posting stuff that we are not interested in. Okay. So let's let them know that we have their mental health or well-being at heart. So if it means inviting psychologists to talk to us on how to be mentally healthy, let us invite psychologists to do that. If to introduce, or we have to register them, if you can afford, actually, because there are some organizations who have registered their employees, gyms and other such programs. If you can, why not? But if you cannot, some also have been very creative and innovative without having to rob the bank. They have introduced programs like Keep Faith programs that employees embark on yearly, quarterly, whatever will work for you. But introduce some kind of fun, right, into the organization so that their stress levels will not escalate, will not go high. If in spite of what they're going through, when they come to work, they should heave a sigh of relief that, I'm okay, right? I'm okay. And I think that will really help. So this is it, right? We need to win the trust of employees. And how can we do that? I've shared with you some points based on my experience as an HR consultant. And number one thing is communication. Be open with them. So have open communication with them. Don't hide anything from them. Attend their meetings. And when you attend meetings, listen to their opinions and acknowledge them. This is very important. Listen to their opinions and acknowledge them. Let them know that what they say matters. You value what they say. That way, even if not at the meeting, any idea that comes to their mind, they'll run to your office to share with you. And then you see, and you don't know, that may be the winning idea. That will be that idea that will lift the company from one level to the next level. So let's be open. And then let's also be transparent. Let them know what is happening in the organization. Don't hide anything from them, right? Don't hide anything from them. Be open and be confidential, please. Don't share their information to or with other people. and the data that is sensitive, employee data that is kept in your confidence, in your trust, make sure that they are kept in confidence and in trust, and the information is not out there all over the place, right? And also show that you care and introduce wellness programs that will help them. So that is it. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, and like I have said, if you are thinking of the topics that we can consider, Michael says we should look at how graduates who are churned out from the universities or the tertiary institutions can position themselves well to be very employable. So my team has taken note of that. We'll keep that in mind. And Abna Afakuma also says that we should include topics like HR for the non-HRs, and then also compensation and benefits management. So we will do that. Actually, compensation and benefits management, human resource management, HR analytics, and succession planning are 4 of our key flagship training programs we run every year. So we'll share with you as and when we are ready to run them. But I know that in February, we'll be looking at performance management, how you can develop the system, how you can actually implement an effective performance management system. We will share with you, and then you can register and be part of it. So any questions? If not, we'll do our final break, and then I'll come back and wrap it up. Remember, this is HR Digest brought to you by Standard Consult with support from FA Impressions. Happy, thank you, Happy, for joining us. Happy says well spoken, right? Thank you. So we'll go for a short break, and then we'll come back and I wrap it up. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being part of the journey with us from 2022. And thank you for being part of the first edition Time with Your Host in 2023 HR Digest. I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. If you just joined us, this is HR Digest. We are about wrapping up. It's brought to you by Standard Consult with support from FA Impressions. We have looked at HR Digest, some of the learning points participants have shared with us. Some have shared with us the expectations for 2023 as much as for the topics to be discussed are concerned. And I have also shared with you, based on statistics from BBC, a report that was shared by BBC in 2021, which says that 70% of employees have trust issues with their HR team, and that HR professionals are often accused of protecting employers who pay them rather than the employees. And the question that I've sought to answer is, what can HR professionals do to win the trust of employees? And I've shared with you from my experience some of the things that we can do as HR professionals to win the trust of employees. And number 1 is open communication. And number 2 is being transparent. Number 3 is prioritizing confidentiality. Number 4 is introducing employee wellness programs. And then number 5 is showing care, genuine care for the employees. And so thank you for joining us. Next week, God willing, we will come back again with another topic, but I promise you that we would reschedule the talent management because it's very, very key. We'll reschedule the talent management session, and then Abubakar Kwame Suman will be here. He's so loaded, we won't let him go. We'll squeeze the issues out of him, and I'm sure it will be of benefit to you. So we will do that. We'll schedule it and let you know, and then we can take it from there. But please, even after here, those of you who are on our WhatsApp group, Please share the topics that you want us to discuss, share your learning points with us, share your expectations with us, and we will keep them, we'll pick them and then work on them. Thank you. Let me say, Afishapa, once again, Happy New Year. I pray that this year will be more rewarding. This year will be more fulfilling for all of us. And in terms of your career goals, have you set them yet? If you have not set them yet, what are you waiting for? But of course, better late than never. So please set your goals. If you need help, please, I'm always there. You can reach out to me and then I can help you. If you need help in setting your career goals, if you need help in setting goals for your employees, you can always contact me and I'll be happy to help. So thank you so much for joining us. I will see you again, God willing, next week. We made it to 2023. Glory be to God. Happy New Year once again. I'm so grateful that you are here and I thank you for making the journey with us. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.